Good evening, everyone. I was about to call it, I was about to call it a night, but then I said, okay, I'll just look at one more thing. And as I did that, it just jumped out at me. While Mark Carney was in Beijing, China, last month signing this great deal, which hasn't been disclosed what is in the content of that deal, the video clip that I found and reviewed is actually kind of disturbing. But I'll let you decide. So let's take a look.
From Canadians the full extent of his so-called strategic partnership with China. He sold it as a trade deal, but in fact, there's much more to it. Carney's partnership includes an agreement on law enforcement cooperation, whereby the RCMP will work hand in hand with Beijing's Ministry of Public Security. This should set off alarm bells. After all, the Beijing regime has no regard for the rule of law. They don't respect due process. They don't have an independent judiciary. There is no civilian oversight of the police, and they have an atrocious human rights record. For Beijing, the overriding objective of law enforcement is to advance the interests of the Chinese Communist Party. This is a regime that routinely uses law enforcement as a means for intelligence gathering and for political oppression. Criminal labels are frequently applied to political targets, not only in China, but around the world, including in Canada. Beijing's Ministry of Public Security is actively involved in foreign interference and transnational repression activities on Canadian soil. Chinese police have set up multiple illegal police stations in Canada to harass and intimidate Chinese Canadians. Chinese police operating illegally in Canada have even forced the repatriation of Canadians back to China. According to a recent report of the National Security and Intelligence Committee of Parliamentarians, Chinese police have gone so far as to pay agents to locate and track Canadians critical of the Beijing dictatorship. This is happening in Canada. Madam Justice Hogue, who headed the public inquiry on foreign interference, concluded that Beijing is the most active perpetrator of foreign interference in Canada. In the face of all of that, it is no wonder that less than a year ago, Mark Carney stated the obvious.
I think the biggest security threat to Canada is China.
But now, Mark Carney wants to partner with Canada's biggest security threat on matters of security. If there is any area that Canada should not be cooperating with Beijing on matters, don't just take my word for it. 10 Hong Kong diaspora organizations have sent an open letter to Carney expressing deep fear and anxiety about this agreement. Targeted communities are understandably worried that Beijing will use this agreement to expand its transnational repression activities in Canada under the guise of law enforcement. In the face of legitimate fears from communities targeted by Beijing, Mark Carney's silence about this agreement has been deafening. There hasn't been so much as a public statement from Carney about it. Carney is effectively trying to hide this agreement from Canadians. He has not released the full text of the agreement. As a result, we don't know if there are any safeguards or oversight mechanisms to protect Canadians from a regime that poses a significant national security threat. The bottom line is working with Beijing on law enforcement is outrageous. If Mark Carney truly cared about Canada's sovereignty and the safety and security of Canadians, he would never have entered into such an agreement with one of the world's most oppressive police states and human rights abusers. Mark Carney, do the right thing and pull out of this dangerous agreement immediately.
So there you have it. Does it sound like a great deal? Does it sound like a great deal for Canadians? Tell us what you think.